Dear friends, this is Jenna Pilot and I'm delighted to welcome you to today's performance by our friend and titled virtual pilot Board046 from the Republic of Belarus at the Spanish Virtual Aviation Festival. Some explanations. Due to the dynamic of rotary wing aircraft, all aerobatic figures performed by Board046 look different from those performed in an airplane. Some figures are sharper, some are more dimmed, like barrels. And we can see how the aircraft has lifted off and is performing the first figure, a climb accelerating into a tail side. Altitude is 1000 meters, rate of climb is 16 meters per second. The complexity of this element is low. Board046 is a student of the most renowned founder of helicopter aerobatics, the teacher of many helicopter pilots in virtual aviation, Pavel Shadow. Unfortunately, he passed away in 2021. According to my years of observation, Board himself is constantly improving, participating in various competitions and successfully wins them. And here are the flares, signaling the next figure. 5 backward flips. The complexity of this element is maximum. It's crucial not only to avoid the blade overlap, but also to maintain the helicopter overall initial direction. In terms of course, it must preserve it throughout the entire descent. Now he is accelerating to exit the sequence of figure and the left turn into oblique loop with a return to the runway heading. The complexity of this element is slightly below average. Descending to an altitude of 10 to 12 meters, the aircraft accelerates to a speed of 300 km per hour to set up for the next figure. And the next figure will be tail slide. The pilot pitches helicopter upward and the complexity of this element is quite high. The tail slide is performed with the pitch of 70 to 80 degrees, holding the helicopter position fixed for 3 to 5 seconds. The longer this element is held, the more difficult it is. Now the aircraft is accelerating to maximum speed to initiate the maneuver and the hammerhead turn. Speed up to 340 km per hour. And we see the start of the maneuver and the hammerhead. After exiting the maneuver, acceleration and climb are performed for the next element. Required altitude is from 220 to 270 meters. Required speed is up to 280 km per hour. As I understand it, the speed has already been reached. And the right barrel roll is performed. All aerobatic figures performed to the right in the K50 can easily lead to rotor blade overlap. But as you can see, it didn't happen here. And the next figure, transition from the barrel roll to a side slip, is performed. The complexity of this element is medium. The altitude is maintained with a roll of 80 degrees, holding the figure in fixed position for 3 to 5 seconds. And now we can see the acceleration for the next figure, which will be left split. To perform this maneuver, the aircraft gained sufficient altitude. And here goes the left split. The complexity of this element is very high. The task is not only to perform the figure, but also to exit precisely into the center of the runway, killing inertia. And now we see acceleration to 320 km per hour to perform the Cobra. The complexity of this element is maximum. Unlike the tail slide, the pilot holds the aircraft at the 105 degrees pitch angle for 3 to 5 seconds. Meanwhile, the helicopter strives to tip over, either into a prop hang or to fall off into a roll in any direction. And you can see Cobra. We are waiting for the aircraft to accelerate for a half-barrel roll with a return. The half-barrel roll transitioning into a propeller stand and recovery is a combined figure consisting of two elements, a half-barrel roll with recovery and a propeller stand. Its difficulty is extreme. The propeller stand involves holding the aircraft in a nose-down vertically descending altitude for 3 to 5 seconds. The figure, like all stand maneuvers, is performed in a controlled descent. We can see the recovery from this position. This is extremely difficult maneuver in itself. The transition into a climb and the right knife edge stand. The difficulty of this element is slightly lower than the left knife edge stand. Currently, Board046 is accelerating for the triple loop. The required altitude is 570 to 650 meters. The required speed is up to 290 km per hour. We are observing a slight descent. And the transition into the triple loop. The difficulty of this element is exceptionally high. The challenge is to maintain speed and the plane of execution throughout the series of elements, while the exit from the series of loops occurs at the minimum allowable altitude. Exit from the triple loop into the wave crest maneuver. A turn during the wave crest. The difficulty is average. The main challenge are maintaining the vertical axis of rotation and avoiding blade overlap. At this moment, Board046 is accelerating and climbing for the double barrel roll. And the element being performed is a double barrel roll. The complexity of the element is high. The main problems are conserving energy for the second roll and rotor blade overlap during the execution of the second element. We can see how close the blades are to each other during this figure. Exit into the wall. A vertical climb with a pitch of no less than 70 degrees and a turn on the wall. The complexity of this element is low, but the main problem are performing a 180-degree turn with zero speed while maintaining vertically. And now, acceleration for the cone. Maximum flight speed of K-50 helicopter. A pass by the runway, and Board046 heads straight towards the grandstand. Spiral cone. The complexity of the element is low. The main problem is maintaining the geometry of the climb and the precise exit to the designated point. Now the aircraft has fixed the climb point and is rotating in the cone directly around it to perform the next figure, called the corkscrew. The complexity of the element is medium. The corkscrew is performed from an altitude of no less than 1000 meters, a minimum of 3 rotations around the helicopter's axis. The complexity lies in maintaining vertically. We see flares, and it's corkscrew. The exit. The complexity is over maximum. The exit begins not upon reaching a critical altitude, but upon reaching a descent rate of 70 to 80 meters per second. The probability of blade overlap is 80%. In almost 3 out of 4 cases the helicopter crashes. But not this time. Now the approach for landing is being performed, followed by a smooth, soft landing. Well, we can only applaud Board046 and thank him for a magnificent performance. That's all for today.